Welcome to Beyond the Needle, the Aesthetics Business Podcast. I'm your host, Emily Ruse. I'm a former clinic manager turned digital marketing freelancer, and I've had the privilege of helping dozens of aesthetic practitioners across the UK and beyond grow their business. So I know firsthand just how challenging it can be to build a successful aesthetics practice in today's competitive market. Each week, I'm here to share real, actionable strategies and bring on expert guests to help you level up, attract more patients, and build a standout brand. Let's turn your passion into a thriving business together. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Beyond the Needle podcast. And this week I'm joined by the brilliant Dr. Magdalena Bejma, founder of Dr. Bejma Medical Clinic and a highly respected name in the field of aesthetics. Magda's journey into aesthetics began like many others, with a spark of curiosity. But what started as an interest quickly turned into something much bigger, a new chapter that blended her clinical expertise as a GP with her love for artistry, anatomy, and long-term patient care. Since making the leap from the NHS into private practice, she's built one of the most trusted clinics in Yorkshire, known for natural, regenerative results and a patient experience rooted in education, integrity, and individualised care. In my conversation with her, we explore the story behind that transition, the fears she had to overcome, the vision behind her clinic, and the lessons she's learned about team building, brand creation, and staying grounded while scaling a business. We also dive deep into the why behind her clinical approach, from consultation style to long-term treatment planning, how she builds trust with patients, and what she believes the future of regenerative aesthetics looks like. Whether you're a practitioner at the very start of your journey or a clinic owner navigating growth and leadership, this episode is full of insightful and grounded advice from someone who's done the work and is still evolving with clarity and purpose. Let's get into it. Good morning, Magda. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's lovely to have you on the podcast.
Good morning, Emily. I'm so excited for this.
I'm so excited to talk to you. So can you start by sharing a little bit about your medical background and what first sparked your interest in aesthetics to kick us off?
So I'm Dr. Bejma. So my background is I'm GP. So I trained for years to become GP. About 5 years decided to completely leave NHS and just dive into aesthetics. I've been actually practicing aesthetics since 2014. So I'm like a dinosaur now when it comes to these things. And yeah, my interest lies in lots of regenerative medicine as well as women's wellness. I do lots of women's wellness, and I'm a KOL for certain brands like Amila, Vivace, In Mode, as well as I'm a trainer for a couple of brands as well. And I love my job.
Amazing. So can you tell us a little bit about the transition from being a GP in the NHS to launching your aesthetics career? What did that shift look and feel like for you? Did you gradually wind down your days in the NHS, or did you take the plunge? Like, how did you build yourself up to get to a point where you could do aesthetics full time?
So I will start maybe just clarifying it's not easy, the transition. At least for me, my NHS job was more like a safety blanket. And it took me a really long time to decide just to leave the NHS. Also, as you know, you spend 6 years at university, then work in a hospital, long hours. Also, very often your family is not entirely happy that you decide to, leave the doctor's job and now you're just gonna do Botox and fillers. And we invested so much in our child, and now she just wants to do Botox and fillers. So the transition actually took me quite a long time. Even when I had my very first clinic fully booked, like working full 4 days, I still was keeping NHS. As I said, it was this safety blanket and also trying to please family, relatives. Despite that, like financially, I didn't need it. And also, I think this is what lots of practitioners always do. I was doubting myself. Oh my God, I'm gonna leave this job. And what if suddenly, like all my patients will decide never book with me again? And then, so it actually took me a long time for probably for about 4 years. I was doing like a 1 day a week as a GP. So this is very minimum amount of hours needed to be signed off. And yeah, but I was thinking like, okay, enough is enough. Like, I don't care if my family decide not to speak to me anymore. I'm just doing it. So, and clinic was getting so busy. Then I was thinking like, it cannot go wrong. So let's do it. But it takes long time and actually lots of thinking and worrying, especially when you also got kids, family, mortgage. Then you're like, oh my God, yeah, it's not easy to try to leave your job.
Yeah, when you've got a lot of responsibility. I've heard people say before actually that their family didn't take too well to the idea. I think a lot of people, even still, but definitely back in 2015, would think that's not a medical profession.
No.
What are you doing? You're supposed to be a doctor.
Yeah.
How have they come round to it now? How did you find that developed over time?
Do you know what? I always say I wish I did it sooner because then I could fully focus. Because, as a doctors, we've got this responsibility to do lots of appraisal, attend different trainings. So this also was taking time because, when I was in my NHS job, I wanted to do the best as well. So I I would say I wish I did it sooner. How I found it now, I'm absolutely loving what I do. Also, family now, they're like, "Oh yeah, it was really good choice. Look at you now. You've got this. You're training. You're traveling. You've got time for your kids and family." And I'm like, did you not say that you were like, I'm gonna just be a Botox and filler person?" And you know how that is. You do. So yeah, that they like almost forgot everything what they said.
Yeah, yeah, they've accepted it now. How did you, because you mentioned as well, like having that fear of what if I leave the NHS and I lose all my patients? And I think
Yeah,
a lot of people who are
yeah,
self-employed in any role, like in any industry, have that fear. I know I do as well. I'm always like, what if I lose all my clients tomorrow? Because
yeah,
you have the respect, you have a
exactly.
mortgage to pay, you have bills to pay. How have you kind of shifted your mindset over the years to, or in that early period, how did you work on your mindset in order to get yourself to a place where you were confident enough to leave the NHS?
I think it happened like organically. Also, when you change your environment and you start to surround yourself more with the successful people, their mindset is a bit different. So you like a sponge. When you are in NHS, for instance, in an institution, you just got like certain like a tunnel vision. And you almost like, this is 9 to 5 job, this is your security, this is your mortgage, this is how you're supposed to go. And I think, even looking from like primary, high school, you just like almost programmed to do certain things in your life. By 30, you need to have a child, X and Y. And then when you slightly deviate and you go into a different environment, when you see people like doing so well, and they were like, what are you scared of? Like, okay, you should be scared. What if you just need to employ more people? What Your growth is like this. So what if it continue like that? You need bigger premises. You need more staff. And I was like, why do we never think that this will actually go so well? We always assume, oh my God, I'm gonna be jobless. And then instead of like, obviously it took me some time, but it was like, yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. And the worst case scenario, what also they were saying, if it goes really bad, you will just go back to NHS because NHS is always there. Even if I want to go back now, eh, I can go back, but I would never go back.
No, how could you?
No, I always say I will go. Let's say something happens and like nobody ever wants any more Botox. I will probably do something else, like a business consulting or like go into property. Yeah, I think it's just you need to really look who you surround yourself with and what people around you mindset, what sort of mindset they have.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was part of like me growing.
Yeah, you're right, because we do have a tendency, don't we? I think, or most of us have a tendency to think
Mm.
about the negatives rather than actually how
Oh,
well we're doing,
always,
you know?
always. I was like, and they were like, this is silly. Like, by the time I left NHS, the patient list was probably between 3 to 4K. I'm like, how am I going over one night? Lose, but we doubt ourselves like all the time. I was like, what if that number actually will double? You just need more staff, they will say. I'm like, oh yeah, actually. So you need good people around.
Yeah, and you need to invest in yourself
Exactly.
and invest in your business and grow your team.
Yeah,
And like you say, take on that bigger premises so that you can
absolutely.
bring on more team members and offer more treatments and ultimately grow your income even more. And also, I think one good thing about you, like you say, you know, if everyone stopped wanting injectables tomorrow, you'd maybe do consultancy.
Yeah,
But you're also a trainer, and that you can
yeah,
train other practitioners. So I think that's quite a nice thing
exactly.
to have, is you're not just an injector, you're training other injectors, you've got all of that business knowledge, so you
Yeah,
can apply yourself in lots of different ways.
absolutely.
Yeah. And how would you say your approach to treatment? You said at the beginning of this episode you're quite passionate about regenerative treatment, which I think are becoming more and more of a thing these days in
Yeah.
aesthetics. How would you say your approach to treatment has changed over the years?
It did follow, so I have to say, obviously, with the aesthetics, we do follow trends.
Mm.
And the trends are always something new device, new injectables. And nowadays we are in an era where everything is about regenerative medicine, biostimulators, skin boosters, lasers. I think I'm definitely so passionate about it is simply because like that's like the medical part of me. So whenever there's something new, obviously I doubted. I was like, I don't believe it's gonna work. Like how? So I always try to like learn exactly how that product works and everything. And I think I'm really passionate because I'm attracted to the science part of the treatment. And to me, always aesthetics being like, it's not all about your lines. Even look at my Botox is well overdue, but it's like your glow, your skin. So it's more from like outside to more like you need to address all aspect of the aging, not like because as well as and if any of my patients will watch this, it's all about your skin, okay? It's not about every single line. So you need to just address and look after your skin and slow down the aging process. Botox and fillers, they do not slow down the aging. But as I said, I'm attracted and I'm a bit obsessed about regenerative medicine simply. I think it's because I'm always been you might not know this about me, but I'm quite a geek when it comes to these things. So when I can't sleep, I will literally just read the latest studies and like what's new, what can I now like how this works like that, why this work like that. So I think it's just like a medical part of me just wanting more and more, like I need to know how can I fix this problem.
Yeah, and there's always something new to learn about in aesthetics as well. That's the beauty.
Oh my, nowadays, oh, Emily, it's just like you wake up and there's like X and Y person you follow bringing new product, and you're like, what is this? I've not even heard the name. So I think from the consumer point of view, navigating treatment is really difficult because they just bombarded with the latest thing, and every clinic will claim this is the best, this is the latest. It's such a hard work.
Mm. I think it's hard for practitioners as well, even new, especially new practitioners who are entering the industry,
Mm,
all of these treatments, to not get sucked into that hype and to know what actually is a good treatment to offer in terms of safety and the results that it's going to
right.
deliver. What kind of things do you look at? Like you say, you're very science driven. What kind of things do you
Yeah.
look at when you consider bringing in?
So I always ask for science, and when the rep will come to talk to me, usually it's the lunch break. So most of my lunch breaks, for the next few months they taken because I'm having meetings. Is the case that I'm literally direct with them, and it's like, why your product over that product, and like sell it to me, almost like a Wolf of Wall Street, sell me this pen, okay? And so because I've got half an hour, I'm interested. Product price is good. Okay, science, whatever they're trying to promote, looks good. But I think for the new practitioners is knowing that the reps are there to sell and they very often waste so much money. And I think the biggest part of that is the devices. So new practitioners really need to be very careful when it comes to buying devices because the market, the reps are amazing at selling. So I fell for it a few times when I was, very early in my career. So it's really difficult. And also what I do with the reps, if your product is so great, let me use it. Let me have the machine for a few weeks, let me just give me few free products. So usually when it comes to new injectables, I'm direct. Okay, send me 2, 3 boxes. I will try. My staff will try, and my staff we really great because one's got a very sensitive skin, like bit of rosacea. The other one is acne prone. I'm just like a normal skin. So if we test the product, we all fine. We're happy. Like even this week, I had someone I'm going to being so upset. She was like, "This is new retinol. It's amazing. There is like no downtime." And I was like, "Okay." I slapped this like serum on my face with the retinol. Next day, I woke up so dry. I have spot here, so I cannot sell like that to the patients, isn't it? Because it's no, there is a downtime. So this is evidence that they do lie to you. So just, and they cost money. So there is no harm. If they think product is great, give me sample. Let me, my family and colleagues try. If they say, "Oh, we cannot do this," okay, fine, I'm not interested.
Mm.
Just be direct.
Yeah, I think that's so, so important. And I've had that a lot actually. People investing in devices quite early on in their career because they were told by a rep it would change their business, it
Oh,
would bring them all this new income, and then it didn't.
and you know, these devices, like the top devices, we're talking they start from price like 85K plus. One of my latest machine is for 140. So, you know, I could have a property that will definitely bring me, you know, income if I rented. So they better have to be good if you invest in that amount. Thanks God this one is good. But yeah, so really with the new injectors, please don't invest easily.
Mm. When did you invest in your first device? Did you start off just offering injectables and
Mhm.
microneedling pills,
Yeah.
things like that for a long time? And how did you
Yeah.
know when it was
So I
the right time?
I started like that for a long time, probably very first 4 years, I was just injecting. Obviously, it was different market back then. It was only like, you know, Botox and fillers. So I think this is important as well. Like the demand is different now. So I understand injectors looking to invest earlier because market change a bit. There is definitely decrease in demands for fillers. So I understand people looking into like having devices or some different fancy devices like the skin scanners, which I love to have one. I have one at the clinic, but I would never spend 10K for it because this is complimentary to the patients. So, you know, it's this thing that is important. But for a very first 4 or 5 years, I was just injecting and that was filler. So that's why I don't want to obviously that might not sound modest, but I'm really good when it comes to fillers. And and I also say to new injectors, master your skills first, be really good, then bring new technologies. Because, like, when I used to train to let's say do the like a nose filler, I had to have at least 2,000 of injections. Now they can go one day, do like basic course, and then 2 days later they can sign to the nose filler. How they going to be good? How they going to be safe? I just don't understand this, Emily. It's really frustrating when it comes to these things. Everything is rushed, you know, now more and more. So even now, you know, let's say you decide to train, and if you for the first 6 months you will train in everything, how good you gonna be?
Mm, not very.
You're not going to be good. No, you're gonna be like knowing tiny bit or like average on every single thing. So I think you really need to look into be good at basics and then progress.
And then build on that, find something
Mm,
you really enjoy. Like if you do really enjoy doing
yeah,
noses, then maybe train and become a specialist in
exactly.
that. But yeah.
Well, I remember I had to show like documented, like not really names, but like get the data that I injected other filler, like in about 2,000 patients that then I can train in nose. And I'm like, okay, now it's like nobody will ask anything, to be honest.
Mm.
So yeah, it's a completely different approach nowadays. So
And obviously, fillers have always been a big part of your practice. Do you
oh yeah.
find that people are asking for fillers less and less, or wanting fillers less and less, or need more convincing that fillers is the right approach for them?
I think it's more them to find person that they trust. And like, you
Mm.
know, few questions before we were talking about regenerative medicine. So I definitely love it and have passion. But if you ask me what I enjoy doing most and what I'm the best at, it's actually fillers, full face transformation with very natural result. I would say is a trend. So if you about a year ago, I would say there was a massive dip in fillers and everyone jumped into like, you know, polynucleotides, exosomes. There was like they were booming. But as you know, your customer is unpaid, but they're not very patient. And I want result now. I want this, I want that. So there was a bit of dip, but now I noticed over the last sort of 4 to 6 months, fillers are going like that again. And especially, with the like Ozempic phase, people realize where there is a volume loss, we have to replace volume. To replace volume, there's nothing better, despite us some brands will claim this will give you gradual increase in the volume. If you had a significant weight loss, you need fillers. And I think it's the matter of finding good injector that will say, okay, this is enough. We're not injecting more. And yeah, if you ask me for my favorite treatments, they're gonna be fillers actually.
Yeah, yeah, I can understand that. How do you help patients understand the value of a long-term treatment journey and not doing everything all at once versus a quick, one-off fix? Like you say, a lot of people aren't very patient and they want to see
Yeah,
that instant result.
yeah.
How do you help them understand that it's like a long-term journey and it might involve multiple modalities?
So it all stems from the very good consultations and I'm very good at I'm not very good at listening when it comes to relationships. Okay, my partner probably will tell you, but when it comes to consultation, and when I have my patient in front of me, what I do for very first 5-10 minutes, I just listen. Okay, probably first 30 seconds, I literally know what this patient needs. Literally, a second she will start saying or he will start saying something, a full face evaluation is like how many meals this patient needs, how many units of Botox. Literally, first 30 seconds, I'm there. Um, but I educate them because, I would say my average patient is 45 plus female. So she is perimenopausal, she's menopausal, so I educate them about changes in the skin. So I also will incorporate chat about HRT, explaining the role of estrogen into your stimulating collagen and elastin. So it's a very holistic consultation. And when I approach this like that and explain what they really need to achieve the goal, and they're like, oh, right. And then I explain them, yeah, we can do quick fix if this is what you want. And don't get me wrong, I will do it, but I explain you're gonna obviously, lose you're losing benefit of slowing down your aging. And I think this is what people need to understand, that all this regenerative medicine, they don't really very often my patient will say to me, like, I don't see any difference, but it's more like I'm glowing and I almost feel like I'm looking younger, but like there is nothing I can point finger that change, but it's like the skin, when they pinch the skin and things like how the skin feels, and they love that. So once you explain that to your patient that, okay, I can give you a lift with fillers, I can sort of get rid of your lines with botulinum toxin. However, you missing the part when we can actively almost sort of not reverse, but sort of slow down the aging. And when you give them like nice explanation, they will just follow your plan.
Yeah, because they believe in it. And
They do believe it, yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Do you find there are certain, I mean, obviously you say you love regenerative treatments. Are there certain treatments that you really enjoy working with, apart from fillers, that you really enjoy working with more than others or that you see the best
Yeah.
results with?
So in my opinion, or practicing in now nearly 11 years, I strongly believe in combined therapies. So we design like a bespoke method, which I actually trademark because since my lots of experience in my life, I learned actually trademarking is something important. So combining modalities, and I will often do on a one day when I do injectable biostimulator, for instance, with a calcium hydroxyapatite, and I don't want to use brand's name because like I'm affiliated with certain brands. So it's like then with the calcium, on top of that, I will do like radiofrequency microneedling like Morpheus 8. And then I will resurface with lovely laser like Moxie. So this works the best. And the future, I can tell you this, and lots of aesthetic practitioners will agree with me. Combine procedures, combine treatments, even on the same day, when obviously you need to explain to your patient that downtime going to be much longer. They are a future of the
Yeah,
aesthetics.
I can see that because you're like addressing everything, aren't you? Like, you're addressing
Yeah.
aging at all of the different layers.
And this is what I love as well. It's building these protocols because what
Mm,
my patients and probably lots of practitioners don't know, it's not that I will just wake up and like say, this patient coming in, I'm doing that. we actually test them. So I will put my poor staff through everything, my family and friends. You're coming. I'm gonna burn your face today. Also, I'm gonna inject on the same day. And you better have a result because that's my latest protocol I want to bring up. So for practitioners as well, they need to I can only believe in something if I test it. And then this is why I will say to the practitioners, okay, if you've got this idea in your head, use your family, friends, your staff, and build up protocols that they are more sort of personal to your brand. And because of that, you will also stand out in a crowd of other practitioners.
Absolutely, yeah, because you're offering something unique.
Exactly.
Yeah, and people are going to get the best results from like you say, if you can do that all in one day, they're going to
Mhm.
have amazing results from just literally one treatment session.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. So if we move on to the business side of things, obviously you started 11 years ago. What do things look like now compared to what they did 11 years ago? How big is your team? Have you bought a bigger clinic?
Yeah.
And how have you grown your team over the years?
So I think when it comes to so I would call injecting patients, doing consultation and treating patients is the easiest part
Mm,
when it comes to aesthetics. Everything else when it comes to business, advertising, when it comes to team, managing the team, growing team, your premises, this is the complicated part of the job. Uh, so I one thing I did really good at the beginning, I got reception hash PA at the beginning because I wasn't full time, so I didn't really need like big team. But I think investing in PA and or like receptionist is the best thing you can do, especially if you have family, because last thing you want is coming home, being on your phone and replying to 50 emails and 20 DMs or whatever you can. Oh, can I change the appointment? So what I tell everyone on my like courses when they have like business consultancy with me or anything, I tell them, I know you don't like spending because you feel like you have no money, but this is one of your best investing decision. So and then hiring staff and growing team, this is very difficult because I don't know who said this, but I think one of the, mentors, like business mentors, said that like hire slowly, fire quickly, which I didn't like. I learned that late, isn't it? I don't know who said that. Elon Musk or someone. I don't know. Someone said that, and I agree with that. I wish with certain people I did better interview, get to know them better before I gave them job, and with the firing quickly. I think you need to get rid of rotten apple as soon as possible which I'm very friendly. I get attached to people. So for me, it's quite challenging. Like, oh yeah, oh she just like didn't mean that. Or she was no. I was always like trying to explain, oh yeah, she probably just couldn't come to job, or she was late because X and Y, rather than like seeing pattern simply because I like the person. So all that bit is very difficult. And I also learned, I think, interviewing guys when you grow the team, I often used to delegate as well interviewing because like I'm too busy. I'm too busy. But to be honest, it's you are the most important person and your job will be the most affected by the person you're employing. So yeah, I learned a few things. At the moment we've got team of 5 and then obviously some work part-time as well. Premises are much bigger. We subletting room to like, for instance, we do not offer laser hair removal, but one of our rooms at the clinic is sort of rented to the laser hair removal company. Same like we've got people working on a sort of self-employed basis. So we've got a GP coming, we have physiotherapists, again on a self-employed basis, renting the rooms. We've got longevity doctor as well. So I think it's when you take in bigger premises and how market is at the moment and you don't want to be fully responsible for filling up their diary like all marketing relying on you. I always say to the practitioner that you might just consider on sort of self-employed basis they pay when they've got clients or renting the rooms. So there are lots of other things I do now rather than before when I obviously had big premises and I employed 10 people. So I enjoy this bit more now, if I have to be honest, because before I was just stressed. Oh my God, she has like 3 hours gap. What am I supposed to do? Like, but then I still have to pay her salary. So that's advice as well, to look into more flexible contract with your employees.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And like you say, hiring out rooms to other people who are on a self-employed basis because
Exactly.
you're getting the money in your pocket and you're not having to worry about their diary.
Exactly. Exactly. So because lots of people would say to me, "Oh, Magda, I don't want to just rent the room. I want bigger premises, but I'm not really in a position to." I was like, "Yeah, so you can rent the
Mm,
rooms." And it also, if you've got person coming and doing, let's say, permanent makeup, we have person coming
mm,
and doing permanent makeup, and she just renting the room. They're gonna bring clients.
exactly.
You have to look, this is like a cross-referring as well. So your business is growing without you doing anything. But I think people just always, what we said at the beginning, they just worried, "Oh my God, I will have a bigger building, I'm gonna fail."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's going back to that whole thinking
Yeah,
negatively all the time about what could go wrong instead of
all the
actually what could
time.
happen.
All the
Right.
negativity, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's such great advice. So, for other clinic owners who are thinking of expanding, how did you know when the time was right for you?
I was literally so busy. I was working about sort of still like, when did I have a first clinic? I mean, as a building, probably when I was about 4 or 5 years. Before that, I was just renting, like, a room somewhere. The demand was so high, and there was demand also for other treatments. Like, I knew people were coming to me to have injectables, but they will go to have a hydrofacial somewhere else or have laser somewhere else. So and they were always, "Oh, if you bring it, like, we would like to have everything in a one building." So I think that you actually need to expand. You need people to work for you. You need your skin therapist. You need laser. This is why time when to invest. When you have client base and they actively asking you, "Oh, did you see this new laser? What do you think?" And I think you're exposing yourself also to more risk when they are going to the different location, having different treatments. Then this is the time, and if they really with you, I don't know, 3 years coming for a Botox, they probably most likely will stick to you. So, I was at that point when I was probably booking up to easily 3, 4 weeks in advance and then I was like, "Okay, enough is enough. Let's do
Yeah,
it."
yeah, I love that. In terms of marketing your business and getting new patients through the door, what have you found has worked for you
Yeah.
in those early days and even now?
So, I think so I just tell you about the background. So, I started doing my Instagram and everything
Mm,
all by myself. And that always worked really well. But then obviously you get attracted to the marketing and like you're like, "Oh my God, I want that. I want to be in Hello Magazine. I want to be in that." So a few times during my career, I had a proper PR at some point when we were spending nearly 5K monthly. And if you look at my Instagram, yeah, I was in OK Magazine, Hello Magazine. And my existing patient loved it, but I need to tell to other injectors, "Guys, that you are in Hello Magazine, you might be in ITV, it doesn't mean that's gonna bring you more patients." It doesn't really have this, sort of like direct, transfer into like, "Oh, I'm on Hello Magazine, I'm gonna have new 10 patients." So this is what people need to understand, that this gives you visibility, but it doesn't mean patients will book with you and they know that you exist. But I think personally nowadays we brought back everything. So I have part-time receptionist who is my PA and she also does IT. She's really good when it comes to recording reels. She will find funny reels. So she will push rest of the team. We are recording. She's one of those, girls, we're recording today. I'm like, "Oh God." So I think it works the best when it comes to marketing done in the house because it gives you authenticity. People love it, love to know who you are. And also when you give them a bit of like a insight of your normal day-to-day life on your stories, they love it. They know they can connect to you, especially, if they have, I don't know, an hour laser treatment, they need to know they can talk to you, that there is a person behind the brand because they already seen you before and after, but they want to know that you are a nice person, not I mean, that I love saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to this doctor. She's been in a Hello Magazine." But I'm telling you, that's not the reason why they booked with you. all the other reason going to be because they like you as a person. So I think it's more of that. So unless you really want to be this, I would say, celebrity doctor, which I don't very often support that because, having lots of influencers coming to my clinic, they all pay for treatment. If you don't want to pay, I'm sorry, I'm not for you. I value my time. And so I don't really support much of the influencer society, I would say, or because like I don't like that. Don't like that. So, but if you have desire to be in all the magazines, go for it. But remember, don't get upset with your PR company because it doesn't mean this article will bring you 10
Yeah.
clients.
I think PR can be really powerful when somebody finds you, say, on Google or maybe even on Instagram, and then
Mm,
they read your bio or they look at your website and it says you've appeared in
yeah,
XYZ publication. It can give you a level of
yeah,
credibility, right? Maybe like
exactly.
for maybe that's not necessarily right because just because someone's appeared in a
It's not because the problem is what client doesn't realize is you pay for it.
yeah.
So I'm in the Hello magazine because that was
Mm,
paid. Obviously, I paid my PR company, but and this PR company has very good relationship. And even, oh God, I'm gonna industry will hate me. But when it comes to all the Tatler and everything, top injectors, they pay to be there. So it's really, you need to decide. I will always prefer to invest this 5K monthly or something into a new treatment, or even like, doing VIP dinner for my best clients. That is what we do as well, rather than spending 5K on PR. So I think depends where you want to are, what your goal is, you know, but
yeah.
they need to be aware that it doesn't mean that you are in X and Y publication, you are super busy. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Think of the return on investment. Careful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I had this chat with PR because I was remember when we employed new doctor and we put so much into him. Like he was in all the publications and everything, and he still wasn't booked. And yeah, and the PR was like, Magda, I think you're missing the point. It's everything else. He is wherever you wanted. We put him up for all the publication, everything, but it's not often that. So it doesn't mean like you're gonna be fully booked because you are
Mm.
there.
I really love that you've said this actually because I do think it's quite a big misconception that people have
Mm,
if they invest in a lot of PR, they're going to suddenly their diaries are going to suddenly be fully booked, and often that's not the case.
mm-mm.
Like you say, it's great for credibility, but
Yeah,
it's not necessarily going to easily
no,
transpire into new leads and inquiries. Would you say Instagram, social media, Google, things like that have been, or even friend referral schemes, have they been kind of
yeah.
what's been
I think that's what you said, like referral schemes works very well. If you collaborate, I don't know, with certain, I don't know, other businesses. So again, going back to the renting space in your clinic, cross referrals. And I only use Instagram. So, I'm only one platform. Obviously, Instagram post automatically copy to Facebook. I don't know how to use Facebook. TikTok, I haven't got TikTok. I'm looking, everyone says to me, I have to have TikTok. I'm like, wow. Looking into that for about last 2 years. We have very low spend Google Ads just for the visibility. So we spend £300 on Google Ads, which is like nothing, but just sort of like a background visibility because um, I attended certain courses and they were always saying you need Google Ads, even very low spend, because it brings you this local, like when you people searching in your area, just very big of visibility. So that's it. I'm not with any more PR company or anything. So to be honest, I only use Instagram. But however, I have to say 70% of my new patient comes as a word of mouth. I think word of mouth is still the best. So look after your clients. Make sure you look after your existing clients as well. Because what people do nowadays, they have a drive to get more and more new patients. But how about there's a massive number of existing patients that probably have money to spend? Give them something back. Do the referral scheme, book, like, take them out, do events for them. So I think this what very often, this is very simple things, but people don't realize that. They're like, oh, we need to like advertise so we get more new patients. How about, like, I don't know, at the moment, probably we've got anything around 7K of patients. How about I look after this? If they all be coming back, I'm booked
Yeah, you
up.
don't need new
So
patients.
yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things that people just, for some reason, don't
Mm.
think that you to use existing client base.
Do you have any preferences on how you like to really look after your existing patients? Like you say, you've got your friend referral scheme. Do you hold
Yeah.
events for patients as well?
Yeah. So yeah, we treat them to the like a birthday gift vouchers. When they're quite loyal clients, we do some VIP events as well. We give them some of them discount. I never give this. I don't like this what discount because it doesn't sit with my brand. However, if obviously practitioners listening to this, so nobody whoever will ask me or reception for discount, they never gonna get discount. They always give the one that they really deserve. So especially when it comes to skincare, we give them bigger discount. So yeah, I was looking into like introducing membership, but it's so complicated and even with the latest apps. So this is something that we actually discussed on one of the latest practice meeting to introduce maybe membership scheme or more structured loyalty program because we had the easy one in the past, but they didn't really like work that
Mm,
well. So I think you as a clinic owner and especially your front of the clinic, your reception, your PA, you have to guys know your top 20, 30 patients, look after them. It's good to know what they do. And for instance, they have a gym, they have a salon. It's really good to know what they do because this is where your probably new inquiries can come
yeah,
through.
yeah, exactly. If you partner up with where they're going.
Oh, I've got one that got massive dating agency
Wow.
and she's sending so many patients. So, and she just said it to me, like, I was like, oh, so yeah, try to like, because lots of probably, I don't know what clients, obviously when I do business consultancy, I go like, run what's your typical clients, things like that. But we are quite luxury brand. So most of the ladies that come to me, they're like
Mm,
business owners. So it's always good, maybe not straight onto first consultation, but talk to your patient, find out what they do. You might really, when they really like you, and most of the time that's probably the case why they're coming back, they are already supporting your business. So I think word referral scheme, word of mouth.
so powerful. Yeah. And
Yeah.
look after your existing clients. Yeah, absolutely.
Existing, exactly. Don't obviously have a drive to bring new ones, but do not forget you probably have got already new injector. Even if you've got 200, 300 patients, what if they keep coming back every 3 months for the Botox? Look after them.
Mm.
It's much easier than like getting new clients.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you about is
Uh-huh.
your training because you train a lot of other practitioners as well, don't you? So
Mhm.
tell me a little bit about that, how you got into it and why you love it.
So it just again, I never really asked for it. I never had any aspiration to like be KOL. I never been like chasing any of that, which is actually nice because some people will just recognize, oh my god, I love your work. Can you train me? I'm like, no. I'm like people that train with me, they probably will say she's very direct or she's very like not mean, but if I'm signing someone off, you have to be good. It happened on my trainings. I said, okay, it's fine, but I would like you to come back in 6 weeks' time when I'm doing training again because I don't think, I think you just need a bit more X and Y and Z. So I do that as well because I always act in the best interest of the client. So I think it's been recognized, and there are certain brands obviously approached me if I want to train for them. I was like, yeah, I can try. So more than anything, me ever asking for any title, KOL, which I feel like, sometimes is given lightly. Yeah, I'm just one of those people in the industry, like, it's like, yeah, fine. But it happened to me simply because I think I was really good at my work and I wasn't chasing anything. I'm also very like a low conflict. I don't gossip. I just like do my job. I inject. I'm really good at it. Very modest. And yeah, I think people love that kind of training when you really direct as well, because I tell them exactly what to do and exactly not what to do. And they also know I'm very approachable. So after the training, The care is really good. We always got WhatsApp group from the day that we train. And, there's even a year, 2 years after, or even not related to what we train, they always, Magda, can you help me? And I think people love that, and they spread the word about this. Oh, you need to go train with Dr. Bejma, she's so lovely and she's just down to the point. Like this, what you will hear the most is like, yes, she can be a bit direct, but they will say, oh, it's probably because she's Eastern European. And and it's like she's very direct, but she's so good. You have to train with her. So yeah, and I love it. And I think I love it because everyone who trained with me, they really like I rate this highly, which I never was thinking about. You know, you probably might want to talk about this or not, but it's like, it's imposter syndrome. I'm thinking like, oh my God, there's so many of these celebrity injectors again. Why are people gonna come to me in Yorkshire to train? And I'm like, yeah, I just need to accept fact I'm really good.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the best type of trainer to be, is to be direct.
Yeah.
Just gonna
Oh, I'm
sign them
very
off
direct.
just to sign them off. You're gonna make sure they really know what they're
Exactly.
doing.
Exactly.
Are there any mistakes that you see like new injectors make quite a lot when it comes to picking a
Yeah.
trainer? What advice would you give to people who are like in the early stages of their career, or maybe wanting to upscale and they're looking for somebody for a bit of mentorship or support?
So I would definitely say try to attend as many courses as possible. And I would advise to use because, every brand, because they want to like get you to buy their product, you play the game and just, yes, I'm really interested. Do you have any training? Because they will usually sign you with pretty good trainers. Most of the brands got quite good trainers as well. So thanks to that, you've got access to free training with probably very good injectors. Because let's say if you sign with me, obviously for my private training, then you have to pay like directly with me. But then if you approach Vivacy, there's like a very minimal spend and you're allowed to come and train with me as well. So obviously Vivacy, they really good filler brand. But I would say use that to access as much as possible of the training. And one thing, if you obviously you new injector, you go for a training, I would say obviously every training you go, if you come to my lip training, I will be doing different technique than the injector in London. Your idea going to the training is to be very open-minded and never really attempt to copy. Okay, because you not me, you cannot copy me, but your idea is to go and pick even one or two like clues that you can adapt to your practice, something that like, oh, this is what I could do better, or she's really good at that, I need to remember that from this training. Because even at that stage I still will go for a training as a trainer. We have trained the trainer training as well. And then we will go, obviously as a trainer you've got access to training in France, in Italy, everywhere. And I never go with the mindset I'm gonna copy because he's so good. No, try to adapt something that you think is excellent and you could like maybe introduce to your practice in the future. So I think this what is the good message for the new injectors. Do as much as possible, try to use if there is any free training. And because obviously you might pay if you choose, you might pay 5K, 6K for a lip filler or whatever training, but I would suggest use what's available there. Because most of the new new injectors, they do their NHS job still, and they same time they trying to have money for family, for life. And then they're thinking like, where the hell am I going to get another 2, 3K for a training? So use what's there. And very often, you might say to them, oh, I can't really afford, but I want to do it. They will help you. They will help you. So use these resources.
Yeah, great advice. Really, really great advice. And something I do hear a lot of people say is they do training and then they go back to their clinic and they suddenly have to like inject the
Yeah.
patients themselves. And they're like, if they don't have patients coming in regularly, they kind of feel like they're not practicing enough and therefore
Yeah.
they lose their confidence. What
Yeah.
advice would you give to people who are kind of experiencing that at the moment? Would you say invest in more training until you feel really confident or
I mean,
model?
invest in more, yeah. Yeah, you were going to say models, isn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah. So this is what we do. I've got new nurse for about last 6 months. Ashley, she's lovely. Her passion lies mainly in like in regenerative medicine as well. Lots of lasers, polynucleotides, exosomes. She's obsessed with that as well. But because of that, she keeps promoting. She felt like she is getting not almost forgetting all the skills when it comes to fillers. So the best way to do it is run Models Day and give discounted rate. Also get all the family, friends, people from your NHS job, all the nurses, just charge them for a product. Never do the free treatment, okay? This is why I always say to everyone, they have to be charged. At least get your product price back and then just keep the flow. Because I agree, if you do lips on a training with me today and you have no lips for 3 months, you will have first of all massive panic attack doing them, that you will just be like so stressed, so shaky to do it. So you have to have a backup plan to have some models. And as I said, just advertise and say like, you've got extra benefit out of that is that you can use, if this is model, most likely you can use images on your website.
exactly. Get some treatment videos and some content for your
Mm.
Instagram. Yeah, absolutely. So, as we wind down this episode, I feel like we've covered a lot and you've given so much great advice. Just going to ask you a few kind of quick fire questions. So, what is one thing you would like to see the back of in aesthetics? Like poor training or lack of regulation, like that kind of thing?
Oh God, don't even go there. I lost any hope. Actually, yeah, let's go with the regulations. I don't think there is any regulation, with the new government schemes when they saying we bring in new regulations, but they really apply to medics. So me having CQC registered clinic, I'm having now more things from the council and everything like the
Mm-hmm.
licenses, like, or when it comes to prescribing, like my nurses because I also sign people for when they're doing prescribing course,
Mm-hmm.
so when they nurses and they sign for the prescribing course, so I mentor them. So I work with Salford University,
Yeah.
so I can find the nurses when I can mentor them. But now with this new regulation, they have to run consultation before they do like Botox injections. I'm like, what?
Mm.
But then I have down the street salon. She used to be like a nail technician, now injecting Botox without anything. I just don't even want to go into regulation because it's like my blood pressure probably is 180 now. I'm telling you, Emily, it's like, so the more and more regulation that's coming out, they are regulating
Mm.
medics rather than the sector that they supposed to focus
Yeah,
on.
it's backwards, isn't it? Really, really.
Oh, like honestly, I just don't get
I
it. It's probably about the money.
Yeah, always about the money. And I think the
Honestly.
people at the top who make the rules don't really understand the industry well
Mm,
enough to be able to put the regulations in
absolutely.
place. For
Yeah.
those thinking of starting their own clinic or leaving the NHS or getting into aesthetics, what would you say they should focus on first?
Building up client base, okay? Make sure you've got enough of the
Mhm.
client base and you have regular clients that they come back every 3, 4 months. So if you've got that for about a year, 2 years, go for it. As I said, one thing I regret is not leaving NHS earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. What's something that you wish you'd known before starting your aesthetics career?
I probably would love to know. I mean, the industry is really fake, okay? Because I was one of them looking up, oh my God, the celebrity injector. Oh my God, she's in a Tatler magazine, Tatler. And when you know the reality, oh, this person is winning 10 times aesthetic awards. I mean, come on. Sadly, everything is paid,
Mm,
And when you've got access to all this PR and everything, you're like, ah.
yeah,
So, very often people you really look up to, when you find out and when you learn, you're like, oh, okay, I got it. Like,
yeah,
so it's really sad because it's very fake. And also, it's nice to you for new injectors to try to find someone that really is supportive and this person got the best interest, because most of the time people don't have their best interest. Yeah, it's the fake industry.
On that note, what have you found has worked for you when actually building relationships with other peers in the industry? So you have kind of people to go to for advice or vice versa. Have you managed to
So
find like connections in the industry that you can really trust and rely on?
So I would say probably I've got one person that I trust when it comes to injectors. I'm gonna say obviously it's Cara from the Sanctum. She I think it's really difficult because I trusted different people through my, you know, over 10 years career. It's and as I said, I learned hard way. People will say one thing in your face and different behind your back, which is probably obvious, but you're just being naive. You just think, oh my God, they are there. I can rely, they're gonna help me. But I would say it's only Cara that if I'm in doubt, let's say I want to do something and I'm coming up with another crazy idea, I will like voice note her. She's like, "You're going crazy, you're going soft again."
Yeah.
And I genuinely know because this we are, I don't know, friends for God like 4 or 5 years. I know I can trust her
Mhm.
100%. So she's just a good person. I think it's just to find a good person, but you will sadly, I think everyone will learn this hard way
Mm,
because people come across as I said that they really have your best interest in their head, but it's they not.
no.
And I think everyone learned this hard way, sadly.
Yeah.
But you will find, and I said, don't think like everyone is bad because that's not a wrong approach. But I would say be very cautious when it comes to these things and who you say, or make sure that things not getting repeated or things like that. It's just you have to be very careful when it comes to trusting.
Good advice. Good advice.
Oh, you learn, isn't it? Hard way. I always learn that, like, yeah. So it's one of those things,
Yeah.
yeah. But they are good people, okay?
Yeah.
In the overall industry is very fake, but there are still some good people.
Yeah, yeah. I think when you've been in the industry long enough as well, like you have
Mm,
seen a lot of different things and you've had a lot of different experiences.
yeah,
But this episode has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. I've
yeah.
given so many great
Thank you.
nuggets of advice for people, all different stages.
My pleasure, Emily. My pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, thank you.